Good Tuesday morning, everybody. I am meteorologist Johnny Lively here to do our Tuesday show, sponsored by HB Neal Construction. Sliding over and looking at the radar, sponsored by Dana Simmons, we have some isolated showers and storms towards the Livingston and Otter Lake, Alaska area. A good number of lightning strikes. This is moving towards Huntsville and Conroe in the next couple of, I would say, the next 20 or 30 minutes, so definitely be aware. But other than that, Houston, Beaumont, Lake Charles, up into the lakes region, not too bad. It's been a quiet start. Those are the only rain that we're seeing here into this region, and that's kind of a telltale sign what we'll see later on this afternoon. Here's the last 6 hours of satellite and radar. It has really mainly been towards the Lufkin and Livingston area. Other than that, we've seen the overnight light rain up there in the lakes region that has moved westward, getting into Livingston, but not much here in southeast Texas or southwest Louisiana currently, just very isolated as of right now. This is what we call the vorticity map. This has all of the energy, and you can see lots of energy with Hurricane Aaron over there well offshore the East Coast on Wednesday and Thursday, but it's still going to be close enough to possibly bring some tropical storm force winds into the Outer Banks. The biggest thing that we're going to see is this rip currents and land erosion and possibly coastal flooding from those large waves, since Aaron is so large getting into the East Coast. But take a look here locally. Once we get into Thursday and Friday, notice we have this weak frontal boundary that's going to be sinking southward. This is going to give us some pretty decent rain coverage Thursday, Friday. And then by Saturday, this moves offshore, kind of kicking out some of our rain coverage. And we'll talk more on that here in a minute. Here's our current temperature, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. 72 here in Beaumont, 74 in Lake Charles. Up towards the lakes region, it is in the low 70s. Houston off to a warm start at 82. And down towards the coast, they are into the mid 70s. Cameron up there into the upper 70s over there in Louisiana. This is our construction forecast for today. Really not a bad forecast. Once we get into the afternoon hours, it's very hit or miss, very isolated chance for it. We're talking 20 to 30% coverage, if that. I really think today's going to be a nice day overall. The chance of rain is going to be more towards Houston later today versus Beaumont and Lake Charles. Tomorrow on Wednesday, we have higher coverage. So our construction forecast, spotted by Modern Concrete Materials, honestly does not look too bad today. Let's talk about our next weather maker. We've got the high pressure ridge. This is bringing the flow from the north, really the next couple of days, allowing that weak frontal boundary to move into our area later this week. So rain chance is definitely going to be staying alive the next couple of days. And as we get into Friday and Saturday, notice here over southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana, that's when that weak front pushes into our area. By Saturday afternoon, this will push offshore, and we're going to go over and show you the upper level moisture that we're going to be dealing with, and especially on the lower level. So as this boundary moves in, we have high levels of moisture here in southeast Texas and southwest Louisiana. Look how large Hurricane Aaron is over there just off the east coast. Very large storm, going to create lots of waves over there. But here locally, frontal boundary over us, just giving us rain chances Thursday, Friday, and then by Saturday, this will move offshore. So somewhat of a drying trend this weekend. Rain chance is still there, but very low coverage. 10 to 20% coverage is definitely possible. And this brings us to our rainfall outlook, sponsored by Do Good Credit Union. 30% coverage today, a little bit higher towards Houston, 40% coverage, but 50 to 70% coverage as that frontal boundary starts pushing southward into our area. And then by Saturday, Sunday, and into Monday next week, since that frontal boundary is offshore, we expect less rain coverage here in our area. Now, if we look at our future cast for today, we know it's already, got some showers and storms towards Livingston. Those showers and storms are going to continue moving towards the Woodlands area, getting into Houston really later this morning, getting into the early afternoon hours. But not much going on today. We might have some summer pop-up showers later on this afternoon. We have the moisture, we have the heat of the day, but model data just not showing much right now. But when we get into Wednesday, that's when we start seeing 40 to 50% coverage here on Wednesday afternoon. So all across the region, we expect hit or miss of these scattered showers and storms pushing through our region. So at least 40 to 50% coverage coming up on Wednesday, and then higher coverage coming up on Thursday. Let's talk about our high temperatures, sponsored by Dana Simmons Real Estate Team. 94 today here in Beaumont. Really the biggest thing across southeast Texas, southwest Louisiana. We're going to be into the mid to upper 90s. Heat index will be anywhere from 105 up to 110 degrees. It's going to be a pretty hot day today. Upper 90s towards the lakes region. Overnight, it will be a little bit cooler towards the lakes, low 70s, but majority of the region will be into the mid 70s, low 80s. Down towards the coast, you will be into the low 80s. Watching the tropics, it definitely looks active, right? We've got two areas that we're watching. In all honesty, it really looks, just as of right now, I know things can change, but as of right now, this first area that we're watching has a 60% chance of development. What we think this is going to do is take a similar path to Aaron, very early in the game still. But this looks like this will come towards the Leeward Islands, find a weakness in the upper level high pressure that it has, and lift, which means it will go away from the Gulf. We'll continue to watch this. Don't think this will be anywhere near as strong as what Aaron was, but it looks to take a similar path, curving or lifting away from the Gulf. But we will continue to watch it. The one behind it in yellow, that has a 30% chance of developing. I don't really see much in this in the medium to long term, but it's so far away, not going to really talk much about it because just don't see much on it just yet. But we'll continue to keep watching it. First area is what we're going to keep an eye on, and as of right now, it looks to lift and curve away from us, very similar to Aaron. Sponsored by Neutron Electrical Services, we can see the latest cone that we have on Hurricane Aaron. It is still a Category 3, barely a Category 3, 115 mile per hour winds. You can see this will get close to the East Coast Wednesday and Thursday, really bringing some large waves to the area, but it will continue moving off to the northeast as we get into Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, then really pushing away from the United States. I accidentally skipped away from the satellite imagery there, but really we can see in the forecast that Aaron's going to get close to the East Coast, right, generating some large waves, but as it continues to move on Thursday and Friday, moves away from the United States, all of our eyes will now shift towards the Leeward Islands. This is that next area that we will be watching. As of right now, this wants to lift and curve away from the Gulf. We'll continue to keep an eye on this, possibly starts getting a little bit better defined as it gets closer to the Leeward Islands and possibly Bahamas. But as of right now, there's just no worries in the Gulf. And the fact is, we could get all through the month of August not having any issues in the Gulf. And that's absolutely awesome. Here's our 7-day forecast here in Southeast Texas. 30% coverage today, 50% coverage on Wednesday. That frontal boundary comes in on Thursday, giving us 70% coverage, and then lower rain coverage as we get into the weekend, and the temperatures will be down into the low 90s. Same thing in Southwest Louisiana, pretty decent rain coverage the next couple of days. Need to update that graphic. I apologize. It is not 50% coverage today in Southwest Louisiana. It is 20 to 30% coverage. And then it picks up Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Frontal boundary push offshore, and then we will have 30 to 20% coverage this weekend with high temperatures into the low 90s. So everybody have a wonderful Tuesday. Rain chances definitely sticking around the next couple of days, especially on Thursday. But other than that, no threats in the Gulf. That's really good for hurricane season so far. We haven't had any big issues just yet, but we're going to continue to keep monitoring here at Gulf Coast Weather Solutions. Everybody have a wonderful Tuesday, and thanks for tuning in.